Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back yet again to another installment of the Ghost Comms podcast. I'm your host, Jatmon, joined by my co-host, Vishal. And today we have the owner of one of the top two NA Fortnite teams in regards to competitive. We have PLDV Jank.
Not the TV, bro.
I just
I
wanted
like how
to,
you put the power in there.
yeah, to troll you a little bit. And maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. But
Yeah,
Jank, obviously one of the original founders of Pipeline, and they've seen a lot more success in recent months, years, whatever you want to call it. People starting to know the name. People starting to. I mean, I know in the 2 months that I've been on, have been asked at least once a day, "Hey, can I join? Can you get me in? Hey, can you get me a conversation with the owners? Whatever."
it's
I had a
working
kid about that recently.
Yeah.
out.
So
Okay.
get those questions all the time. So yeah, Jank, welcome on.
No,
Thank
come
you.
on.
I mean, I've always wanted to do this. One of these kind
Yeah.
of talks. Maybe
Well,
did it now.
and we were supposed to do an episode with you and Avaft, and then you were just, you were doing what you do, and yeah, you had things going on and running the org and all that. So,
There's a lot of school stuff too.
yeah. So
Yeah.
and you graduated recently, so congratulations on that.
So
Um,
Vishal.
Congrats.
yeah, Vishal did as well.
It's a good time.
Yeah, very exciting announcements all around. So kind of what's your background? Where did you grow up? How was gaming a part of that? What games did you start with and did you play the most? What extracurriculars did you do, if any, etc.?
So I've grown up. I've lived here my whole life. Same house, basically the whole life. I mean, when I moved, I only moved probably like a half mile away.
Mm,
So I've lived in West Texas my entire life. Probably
mm,
one of the worst places to be a gamer. I'm not gonna lie,
mm.
because in the specific area I live in, cannot get good internet
Yeah, yeah.
at all, right?
Right.
So for years I was like when it comes to getting into gaming, right? Vivid memory. I was in my old house. I was sitting with my dad and we were playing NASCAR on a PS2. I was probably I'd been 3 years old. That's like one of my most vivid memories.
Mm.
It's basically like a screenshot of that. I don't have
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
to say of recollection, but and then we moved into here, and then I had a Wii, so I'm playing Wii
Mm.
boxing and
Yeah,
all the Wii sports games. I love Wii
yeah,
boxing because I didn't
yeah,
mention
yeah.
Yeah.
that. And then remember I loved Sonic. I loved Mario, like
Mm.
Oh
both of
yeah.
them.
Oh
So
yeah.
Yeah,
that was a lot of people's childhood, and I'm really glad I got to be a part of. You could say almost like the inside joke of a lot of people's lives. You could say, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The same part.
Yeah.
And remember playing the new Super Mario Bros. On the
Yeah.
Wii with like my family and my friends and stuff. They come over and play it. And the Lego Star Wars game
Mm-hmm.
and the other ones like the Force Unleashed and
Yeah.
all the other little side ones. I actually had I went through all my old games yesterday. Not yesterday. I'll say that the other day, and I found them. And that was pretty cool. And then I remember I had an Xbox 360,
Mm.
and dude, me and my friend, we used to set up an iPad. We were probably 7 to 9 years old, around
Mm.
there. We'd set up the iPad and we would record our gameplay.
Nice.
In Minecraft on my Xbox. And then
Nice.
oh, I gotta use chapstick, dude. Texting. I'm being so serious. I've been chapped for like a good 24 hours.
Bro, I'd be getting it so much during the winter. It's actually so annoying. Like my lips be burning.
We have like dry winds. Anyways,
Yeah.
Xbox games. I remember my cousin was showing me Call of Duty 3, and I was like, I have to get it because it
Mm.
had tanks in it. You could drive vehicles, and that's what I loved.
Mm.
I remember I had the Monster Jam game. That was legendary. And that's the only reason I actually got an Xbox. We were out shopping for games when I was little. I remember it. I was like, monster trucks, because I used to love monster trucks.
Yeah.
Like almost every little kid.
Mhm.
And we got it, and I was like, why isn't it working? I was like, oh, this says Xbox, but I don't have one of those.
Mm.
7 years old. Get the Xbox 360. And I remember I was watching like Skate 3 videos on YouTube. I was probably
Mm.
10 or 11 years old. I had unrestricted internet access from like the age of 5.
Yeah, yeah.
So that tells you anything about what I've seen or what I know. And
Yeah.
I can think of a few things.
I
Yeah.
think of here and there things.
I remember playing Skate 3 so much. And to this day, I actually have my 360 right behind my monitor, and I still sometimes will play Skate 3. So it's just legendary. It's timeless to me.
Yeah.
And let me think. I remember whenever I was around 8 years old, I would go to my friend's house. We'd play Call of Duty Zombies on his PlayStation 4 and on his PlayStation 3 also, because we'd play like I was gonna call.
Yep.
Anyways,
I am getting a call.
and we were also what do you call it? We would play like the old BO2 and stuff like that on his PS3. And I remember begging my parents like, I need to get a PS4, please, 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 for my birthday. I was like 9 years old, and I got it on my 9th birthday. And I got Call of Duty Ghost with it, and that was like my first COD. Actually, Call of Duty 3 wasn't even my first COD. COD Ghost was. And a lot of people shit on that game, but like, it maybe it's nostalgia, but it holds like a very special place in my heart. And
Nice.
played that like every day with my dad. Like, I would tell him, wake me up for school early and let's play video games, and we would. He'd get me up a couple hours early for school, and we'd play it. And trying to think, Madden was a big part of my growing up because I loved football, and I actually played football from 3rd grade up until my sophomore year. And
Like on school team or just for fun?
3rd grade to 6th grade was like a local league, and then 7th grade whenever school sports started. So I would have been 12 years old.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And I loved it, man. I wasn't even that good, I'm be honest with you, but it was a sport that I loved doing. A lot of times I didn't mind going to practice, and loved playing it. I loved hitting people and getting to trash talk them, and then your friends right after the play, because you're all there for the same reason, right?
Yeah.
I only met a few people that actually pissed me off after the game. A lot of them were cool, and again, I played that for a long time, and while I'm doing that, I'm also playing so many video games. I got into Fortnite around the time it came out. It was actually season 2. All my friends, were in 7th grade, so around the end of the year, and they're like, dude, you have to play this with us. Like, you have a PlayStation? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you have to play with us. I'm like, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I've always had this weird like individuality complex where I want to be different, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Which in some cases it really helps with like content, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be a part of the crowd, and for some reason,
I get
sometimes
you.
it's a good thing, sometimes it's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever. And I got hooked like immediately.
Yeah.
I loved it. I stopped playing Call of Duty like altogether,
Mm.
and Madden. I especially stopped playing Madden. Madden made me so mad. I've broken probably 4 controllers over Madden.
Really?
Damn.
And I didn't even like the game that much. I made myself play it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know why. I couldn't play anything else, and I made myself play Madden. And I mean, I'm trying to get my brain going. It's ADHD. I'm thinking about everything.
Recollect, yeah.
Yeah. Played Fortnite forever, and around late 2018, friends like, dude, you got to play Siege with us. And I'm like, oh, I've seen videos on that. Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
Hooked on that immediately. My PS4 that's also behind my monitor is covered in Rainbow Six stickers, and loved that game, man. Like, again, another game that I still go back and play it. One of the games that actually got me into esports, besides World Cup definitely got me interested. I remember being a little kid wanting to rush home from school, like telling my dad, like, hurry up, let's go home.
Yeah.
I pulled up World Cup, and I remember doing this with the Pro-Am too, the one Ninja Marshall.
Yeah.
And rushing home, putting it on my PS4 and watching it buffer every 3 seconds, because that was the Wi-Fi I had at the time, but I was still such a gamer. And that really, World Cup opened my eyes to how much money is in it. Whenever I was a kid, I was like, wow, like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. And little kid, I mean, I was 13, but
yeah,
the amount of mental progression one makes in 5 years is insane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and when that's
like
when
paper,
when you're 13, that's almost half of your life. I mean, so that's like that 5 years means a lot. I mean, I totally get that.
Like, on paper, it's really not a long time. But when you think about every day is 24 hours, you did this for this many hours, like, it's
when
you get down to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, and I would be watching the the Rainbow Six Pro League on my phone, on my TV, on
Mm,
my PlayStation, because I didn't get a PC until summer 2019.
mm,
And even then, I got the PC, started playing Siege, and I would
yeah.
watch the Pro League. I actually used to stream on a full on monitor, and which some people that's normal, but dude, it was so hard for me.
Yeah.
I remember getting
Yeah.
peripherals for Christmas, dude. I got a VR headset, SteelSeries mouse, I think I
Mm,
got a SteelSeries keyboard. Actually, no, I bought that one. And God, just gaming has always been such a thing. And
yeah.
what my parents didn't understand at the time is like it's just like their niches, and
Mm,
something that actually like a couple of my uncles understand. Like yeah, that's just your thing. You know,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
just 'cause it's different doesn't mean it's bad. You're not harming people. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
it's a hobby for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And they just never understood even when I was little. Besides, well, I mean, besides when I wanted to play with them, but when I was taking it seriously
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or making friends and stuff, they just didn't get it because
Yeah.
they're part of what was that Generation X, but
You can't be
they
mad at them for it, like it's understandable,
Yeah. They
yeah
didn't
yeah
have it. They didn't have anything
right
like
yeah
it. I mean,
I totally understand,
yeah.
Yeah.
but they
No,
also grew up.
it took my parents a long time to come around as well, especially when I really started getting into it. And like I was like, yeah, I want to make a career like out of this. And they're like, well, how? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm doing the work, I'm putting it in every day, and like it's kind of just in the past like year, I would say, that like my mom especially has really come around. Like now I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. These are the podcasts I'm recording. These are the, this is what we're doing with the org, whatever. Like I keep her updated on everything because she wants to know and be involved. But it took me believing in myself and believing in this passion enough to convince them, and it still took some time for them to come around. And but now that they get it, they're like, oh yeah, this like I the way I put it to my mom, because she was a big musician, she sang my whole life, and like I had to sit her down and be like, mom, this is my music, like
Yeah,
this is as important to me
Mhm.
as music is to you. And she was like, oh, I saw it click for her. And I think a lot of parents need that, but that's a hard conversation to find the right words for when
especially
you're
when you're young.
13, 14, 15. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like because they still have that age stigma
yeah,
because
yeah.
they
Oh,
don't
for
know
sure.
everything going on in your mind, so you can't
Yeah,
blame them.
yeah,
They also
right.
do need to learn to like, hey, maybe I should listen to my kid a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
And sometimes, I mean, sometimes like it could be a little badass, and
yeah,
you understand why they don't really want to listen to him because the kids.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say though, I think that's very slowly changing. I mean, even some of the parents that I met at Dallas,
Cooper's
like,
dad.
dude, Cooper's dad came up to me. Jack's dad was there the whole time.
I love
Um,
Jack's dad, dude.
Peterbot's dad, dude, I got to talk to Peterbot's dad, and he's one of the coolest people ever.
Yeah,
And like,
he's
just
so funny.
all of them have this are kind of this new version of parent that like is not only supportive, like they're flying out, they're like, oh well, I
They're-
don't want you to go to this land alone, but I want you to be able to go, so I'm gonna go along with you. I'm gonna be there doing whatever. I mean, Cooper's mom has reached out to me and like, hey, I
Oh
listened to your
yeah,
podcast, and like, dude, it's really awesome to see that esports is getting to a place where we're kind of starting to flip that for that younger generation, because I talked about this with Cooper when we had him on too. It's like there's a generational gap between the people who are like 15, 16 right now
Yeah.
and like us. It is crazy what those few years of difference had.
the
Like,
internet.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is
I mean, the
Mhm.
technological
good.
revolution, it's like making a new generation every few years, because they're like generation, what, I don't even know which one I am, Generation Z. I mean, it goes down all the way to like people who are like 6 or 7 years old right now. And I'm like, they
So
are
justified.
radically different than we are. They're going to have a completely different worldview and experience and
Millennials
life.
are the same way,
Yeah.
in my
Or it's
opinion.
just, yeah. Oh, you mean like the top of the millennials to like the youngest? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
it's completely different. I mean, the technological revolution makes those disparities so much greater. But I mean, speaking of parents and support, that's something that I've seen a trend in a positive sense, where it's kind of starting to flip from what it used to be. Those younger parents with kids who are in their teens, early teens right now, I've seen a lot more support from, and at things like Dallas and whatnot. I mean, to
Mhm.
see like especially the land experience. I mean, watching these people, these parents like helping their kids take their whole PC setups to this place so that they can go experience,
Yeah.
the land setting and try and compete in tournaments and whatnot together, is a really cool thing.
Hmm.
Mm.
I remember we going to Atlanta, and this is like week and a half for PL, Vert and Roller and
Mm,
1T and all them, And I was talking to Cooper and his parents. Like that, I've always known a Cooper, but that's when I met him.
mm,
And I mean, they drove all the way from Texas to
yeah,
Austin. They drove all the way from Texas to Atlanta,
yeah,
and they even had to stop in New Orleans because car troubles, and like they were not in a good side of town.
mm,
And he
Right.
wasn't like, "We're gonna turn around and we're gonna book a flight leave." Like, no, she was in it to win it. And even his grandma
mm,
came,
mm,
and
Yeah.
I mean, and Tristan at Panda Tristan on Twitter, his dad is super into it. A little, I mean, if you remember what happened in San Diego, if you ever saw that with Blake being like, "I just got yelled at by someone's dad," that was Tristan's dad.
Oh.
It's because he
Oh.
was accusing Tristan and his duo of screen peeking.
oh wow,
So
Right.
so he was really passionate. He's like, "My son's gonna win this shit," and then he got
mm,
disqualified for that.
Yeah.
And like it's nice seeing a lot of parents. And what took honestly, my parents haven't really even come around. To be
mm,
completely honest, they
mm,
just but they know that's where a lot of my friends are. And
mm,
so when I went to Dallas, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. It was January 2021 is when I met like basically my best friend that I've ever made through the gaming. His name's JT, and remember I think it was in a KNG chat, and he was like, "Hey, I need this many points. I'm streaming. Let's play." And he was like, "Yo, I've got jack shit for points, but can I play? Like, I'd
yeah,
love to learn from a player like you. Just play TikTok." And he was like,
yeah,
yeah, sure, whatever." And then he invited me to his friend group, and then you know we started all playing together, streaming together, making content, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter,
yeah,
and he actually managed me at one point, and that's where I met Origin GGs, and
mm,
a few other people, Heaven, so I met
mm,
Heaven,
Um.
and I mean just this when we're all so much smaller. Origins grinding for OA Academy. Um,
jeez,
Oh yeah.
I eventually started grinding for OA Academy because of him,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
where and then I'll get into the rest of that story in a bit. And I have all these friends, and I meet one of them in September that year. That was JT, and my mom was like, "Oh, okay, it's not just a screen thing, and they're awkward IRL. Like, it's like a brotherhood." And then I
Yeah.
went to Dallas in 2022, and my dad was really reluctant to take me. We didn't
mm,
decide till the night before, and
mm,
Oh damn.
he sees me, giving monitors to players I picked up, or monitor, sorry, caps, and then I'm talking to so many people I know, and this and that, and he's like, "Holy shit!" Like,
yeah. It's a lot
not
bigger than he thought.
he's not
Yeah.
just sitting in his room talking to himself, or
Yeah,
the same couple people. Like, he actually has this
yeah,
circle and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's not meaningless. You know what I mean? It's not
yeah, yeah,
a dead end. I'm doing, I'm playing RuneScape by myself kind of thing. I'm gonna play RuneScape.
yeah,
Parents'
yeah,
realization is probably one of the best feelings.
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
but
them realizing how much it means to you, and them realizing that like they're or them being there to support it. Probably one
yeah,
of the best feelings, especially in this scene specifically, like
yeah,
content creation, gaming
especially with what I'm
specifically.
doing.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, but what the thing is that I've never, when it comes to PL, never really ever had support from my dad, like
Mm,
from
Right.
launch ever. And like he understood like this is where his friends are and stuff, but he doesn't understand it, and I can't really blame it. Even whenever talking to my uncle and we're like, yeah, this is just our thing. Like, this is just our hobbies. This is my gaming is your fishing. And like to my dad, like my
Yeah.
gaming is like your hunting and stuff. And of course I
mm,
love doing both, but this is my niche. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
love doing
yeah,
things. I'm not
yeah,
I'm not
No.
I'm not saying that to sound like disconnected. But and my uncle was like, yeah, totally, that makes total sense. My dad's sitting there just grunting, like he's
mm,
just pissed that I'm making a point. And I mean, that's just because his whole life, he's a lot more materialistic than I am.
mm,
So he grew up with like jack shit basically, and then
mm,
he
Yep.
gives me all this, and then he he's gonna think like, why isn't my son doing what I was doing and working his ass off as a child? But it's also like, you gave me everything, you know.
mm,
That's why our things are different. That's why
Yeah.
I'm spending more time doing this because
Yep.
everything's just been handed to me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and be like, no, no, my family doesn't have money. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
damn near everything has been handed to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fucking ranting at this point. But
No,
Keep
you're
going, no,
fine.
keep going.
just
Keep
like,
going.
and then he sees me wanting to start doing my own thing, but it didn't align with what he was doing as a child. And he didn't like it
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't even,
Right.
I'm spending 50, $80 a month max, and he's pissed at the time. This is 2 years ago, and I'm
Mm.
basically paying editors, GFX, and then like one player, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got into a huge argument. That was, I want to say summer 2021,
Like this,
maybe.
like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I remember FaceTiming C-Mills after it.
Mm.
Or actually, I didn't FaceTime. I think I texted him about it, and then he's like, "Just join my court." And we talked
Mm.
about it. And dude, I am in tears. Like, I might just end up
Yeah.
saying, like, I'm telling him, like, I just don't want to do this shit. Like, because as much as when you have an argument with your parents, you're like, I don't want anything to do with them, whatever. No
Yeah.
matter what, and I'm not gonna be like, that's still your parent, because there's definitely parents that's like, you do not like. There's abusive parents, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what hurts the most is like whenever your parent isn't not, you could say not really supportive, but more against it than anything, especially vocally, because
Mm.
it hurts because not only is this like my passion, this is just what I want to do, and this is what I love doing. And when someone shits on what you love doing, especially whenever you're your parent, it just amplifies it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you feel the disappointment, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I've gotten in a couple more since then with him, like
Yeah.
probably three, and again, it's just like it makes me want to just cut it off completely, just done, just.
Mm.
And then sometimes I still feel that way. I'm like, I wasted, and I want to say wasted, also don't, but it's like I wasted like 2 years of my childhood
Mm.
trying to do this,
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
I I would skip going places with my friends because I wanted to have a meeting, or I wanted to stream, or
Mm.
I was just trying to do things that I wasn't ready for.
Mm.
Yeah.
Whenever I started PL, I wasn't ready for it at
Mm.
all, not at all. Honestly, if I could go back to when I agreed to do it, I would tell myself no, like,
Really.
and do it a lot later
Mm.
if I
Delay the delay the process. Yeah.
100%. We did everything in a day. I'm talking
Mm.
branding, banners, video, Twitter, pickups, everything in like a day or two,
Right.
Mm.
because it was that easy at the time
Mm.
to have a small team. Um, excuse me. I don't know
Hey.
why I've been burping so damn much. Um, yeah, I would
Do,
totally go
so,
back.
so would you say now that it was worth it, or would you say that you regret it?
A mix.
Mm.
On one hand, I'm really proud of what we've been able to do and the connections and the friendships I've made and all the people I've been able to meet. But I feel like I put way too much stress on me in a time that I couldn't,
Mm.
like a time where I couldn't handle it. I I am diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and
Mm.
God, I hate how watered down
Yeah.
it
I know
is
what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
because of how much people want to downplay the word in general. Like I am, because listen, like I've said, I've from an outside view, my life is perfect, right?
Mm.
But whenever you have like it's genetic.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not it wasn't
Yeah.
brought on by a certain event. Both my
Right.
parents had the gene and it literally doubled in me.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
mediating, it doubled.
Yeah.
And so that's made everything that I've ever done, if it's a slight inconvenience, it is the whole world.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I was medicated for a long time, but I didn't like it.
Mm.
And I've been going to therapy since I was 8 years old
Mm.
because
Still
Wow.
of
do?
it. Yeah,
Still
I
do?
still do.
Okay, nice.
That's pretty progressive for the time period. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I might have actually missed my appointment.
What today?
um,
Oh, yesterday.
oh,
Tough.
I'm so bad at it, dude. But it's because I have so much shit going on with this. But
yeah.
yeah, I've been going for a long time, almost about 10 years now.
Mm.
But and then it's so watered down. I want to talk about it publicly, but then people are like, "You're looking for attention."
Yeah.
But if anything, I'm not really. the only reason I'd be looking for views or impressions is for more people to understand what it's like for others, not just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's always going to be that one person. That one person will always rock your world with the sentence.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and that affects a lot of things I do nowadays. I mean, when I was in San Diego, dude, I was entering just like an episode of just everything is shitty
Mm.
and this and that. Like I did not want to be there. I
Mm.
didn't even want to. I was at this nice ass house in San Diego, and I'm racking my brain. Why can't I appreciate this? What is happening? Like,
Mm.
why am I not satisfied? Why am I not happy?
Mm.
It's awesome. Like my subconscious knows or my conscious knows all everything is awesome right now. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally in San Diego
Yeah.
with a few of my best friends and a lot more in their group that I'm becoming great friends with.
Yeah.
Um, we've got players here. Like this is something I've always dreamed of. Why am I not happy?
Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, I was entering a bad episode. I mean, whenever it's like a study. Like if you sleep longer, like you need more sleep when you're not happy.
Yeah.
When I was on that trip, so usually I sleep with like noise and stuff, and like a
Mm.
podcast or music or both.
Like white noise.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then that on top of it, because I'm
Right.
very particular about my sleep. But I was in San Diego, I went to sleep with nothing on at all,
Mm.
and I sleep 12 hours a night.
Mm.
Like I'm
Got it.
talking, I went to bed 8 a.m. most night or 8 p.m., 9 p.m. most some of the nights, and then I would wake up 11 or 12 sometimes.
Mm.
Jesus.
Like it was bad. It was the worst
Yeah.
place for me to enter an episode. Like it was
Yeah.
such bad timing, man.
Yeah.
We've all had our long sleeping moments due to like, stress, anxiety, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It just blows so.
I
It
mean,
does,
So
bro.
bad.
I had an episode like that. I would say was it? I would say yeah, late 2021. I had like a section like that where I would literally like I don't talk about this publicly, but this is one of the times I will.
Mhm.
Would come home from school and I remember making a snap about this. I'm pretty sure it's still on my phone as memories, and I look back at it recently, but because I think it hit the 2 year mark. But it was literally my snap saying I'm motivated to do. Like, I have no motivation to do anything. Like I don't know what I want to do with my life right now,
mm.
and it's literally me just like staring at like I'm sitting in the dark at 2 a.m. Don't know what to do,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
from that point for like 2 3 months, I would be this guy that would go to school, hate it with a passion. This is right after like the COVID strike happened, like online school's done now. It's like hybrid school, right? Go to
Mhm.
school, finish school, hate it with a passion, come home, stay in bed for an hour, fall asleep for 3 hours, wake up 7 8 p.m., work on school stuff. I had 4 courses a day. I had 4 courses of school a day, so I had 4 courses worth of work to do. Would
Mm.
work for 30 minutes, have lose all motivation to continue, edit some random ass Fortnite montage. Would just go on Instagram, and then go
Mm.
back to sleep and stay in my bed till 3 a.m. Then fall asleep and wake up for the next day and repeat. And it was probably the worst mental I've ever been in. And of course I regret it, but at the same time it was like shit. It was an experience. Like I know like that's the
Oh yeah.
lowest I've ever been. That's the
Mm.
lowest I've ever been. And is I don't want to get back to that point because it was
Mm.
genuinely the most draining. Like I never during that time period I actually never like had stages where I like broke down or anything like that. But I had stages where it was like it was so bad where it's like I'd rather break down than feel like that again.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Like
It's
I'd rather let it out than feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always as much as I hate so many experiences and things, and I'm like, I never wish them worst enemy. I still try to appreciate the things I learned in it.
Right.
I've come to terms with like, okay, this was a really shitty experience, or this shitty thing happened.
Yeah.
But there's always something positive that comes out of
Oh
something,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
No matter what, that's just how it is. So
Oh.
Mhm.
in 2020, man,
Oh.
I was every night stand up 5, 6 a.m., go to bed, wake up 2 p.m., do jack shit all day, repeat.
Yeah.
And it
Same thing,
was like
pretty
that for a
much same
while.
thing.
And I didn't want to be around my family. And they would always bring
COVID
these people
school
over
is
that I didn't like. Like it was just a bad combo.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where I made a lot of the friends I still have today.
Mhm.
Excuse me, I keep fucking burping, dude.
You're chilling.
And I don't want to just do it straight on. But
You're fine.
let me think, let me think. Probably around August 2021. I I remember it was like July 31st. I got broken up with.
Mm.
My whole world just.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
like I mean it's like every day with this girl, and one of the things I look back on now, I'm like, I know what I was doing wrong.
Mm.
Personally, I don't know what I did for the breakup, but I know personally it's like I was, rather than introducing her to my world and vice versa, I was making her that that world,
Yeah, yeah,
and I wasn't literally putting time for myself.
yeah.
Like
Right.
everything I did was about her, and then rather
This
than,
was
you know,
this was during COVID, you said?
this was about a year after, so August 21.
Yeah, bro. Literally this same time frame as me. I was dating someone and then broke up with them. I think breaking up during COVID might be one of the worst things that could have like that's happened to me in the last 18 years of my life. Because it's
Mm,
like COVID, remember, COVID restricted us from going out. So I couldn't go out and do stuff. Like I couldn't go out to the gym and like get a grind on. I couldn't go
couldn't
out
see
with
your family.
friends. It was so hard because I would be stuck to my computer doing like playing games. Like of course I don't regret playing games because it's led me somewhere now. But again,
Yeah,
that mental of playing games, like knowing that I'm gonna wake up, play games, go back to sleep, and repeat,
mhm,
that shit ruined me. Realistically, they
yeah,
did ruin my mental, but I don't regret it.
yeah. Uh, it's one of the things I've like learned recently. I've tried to really invest into the it's called like idea of I almost said socialism, stoicism,
Yeah.
and
Mm,
it's something I've has really helped me in the past couple months. Like confining myself to the present is a
Mm.
big one for me. 'Cause it's
yeah.
like I don't want to dwell on the past. I can think about it, but I'll be like, okay,
Oh yeah.
I don't let it weigh me down.
Mm.
No matter how much it affected me for so long. I just
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not worry about the future. Worry about what's happening right now. And
Yeah.
I've always been an in the moment
Mm.
person.
Yeah.
However,
Mhm.
I did do a lot of worrying. I mean, again, I am genetically predispositioned to do that thing
Yeah.
and be sad about said thing.
Yeah.
I don't really have a choice there. I mean, that's just something that's always going to be there, no matter what lifestyle guru wants to call me a lazy bastard, and you know, or any
Yeah.
Fortnite kid that has
Yeah.
no experience with any of these things.
Right. Right.
It's
Um.
a whole shit show.
So when when did Pipeline kind of come into the picture? Like, what was the founding of that like? Where did the idea come from? Who were the original founders? Kind of get into
Uh,
how that came to be.
so interesting story. I remember tweeting. This is in April, early April. Actually, first time I tweeted was in March of 2021, and then in April, someone else I knew tweeted it. Their name's Palm. Palm plays. It's their Twitter is Palm plays with a Z.
Mm.
Tweeted, "Hey, I want to do this too," and I just DM'd. I was like, "Hey, let's do it."
Mm.
We did it, and we brought on B Zone, biggest
Mm.
troll NA, and he actually put in great work. Like he brought on Crackly,
Mm.
if you remember.
Yeah.
He was on our first roster. Um, kid named Blair, kid named Fern. Actually, his name might have been Blair Fern. Now I think about it. And someone else. I think his name was Vise. He's a Valorant player now.
Mm.
And that was our roster. And we, and Bomber was a
Mm.
founder, not Bomber,
Mm.
who left pretty quickly after ripping it twice in a VC. And they never learned. And I remember Optimal Ambition at the time. That's whenever I was grinding for OA. Century, he was the main graphic designer for them. He offered to help us, and we were like, "You're a founder," and he's like, "All right, fuck it, cool." And he's the one who made all our stuff. I remember being in the call, and he's drawing things out. And I was
Mm.
like, "Wait, you know where you messed up right there? Actually, keep that, and that's still our logo. Where
Mm.
it on the P where it's slanted on the inside,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a mess up." And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
"Keep it,
I like it.
keep it."
It looks sleek. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
like, "No, keep that." And then he photo scanned it, put it on his computer, and that was that.
Mm.
Trying to think. I mean, this was like overnight. We literally announced. I think it was like 12 a.m. one night. I think that was the
Jeez.
point, and it
Yeah.
actually it kind of popped for some reason. I really don't know why. I think it's because there wasn't a lot of small teams popping up that actually had like professional looks to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Good
were all
branding. Yeah. Right.
like Pixar with the Fortnite render.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so people were seeing this like, oh shit, like
What was before you go too far into the story, what made you interested in running an org?
Um, I'd always wanted to be in the management side,
Mm.
and I was a shitter at Fort, so I was
Mm.
like, there's no other route.
Perfect storm. Yeah.
But I was just like, I just want to do it. I mean, best way I could put it. And
Yeah.
originally we were going to be a thing that was to help people get into colleges for it. We're basically like
Mm.
a thing to, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
uplift and put on a platform.
Yeah.
Quickly fell through.
Mm.
Um, so we were, oh, follow the pipeline, whatever, for a long time.
Oh,
And,
okay. That makes sense.
mhm. And we got clowned on a lot because we just didn't put a lot of money in. But that was
Mm.
the whole point. That was the whole point, was to not get these T1 players for the longest time.
Mm.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be like what Nerve is doing now,
Mm.
and we were doing that. I mean, trying to think what else I'm gonna say. Fuck. Damn. Whatever.
You get it.
But
Yeah.
I just remember getting shit on for a while, and then I've got school coming up, and the Palm is in school, and we're not. It's not running very well. I mean, people are leaving, and we're not tweeting, and like
Mm.
shit's just going downhill.
Mm.
And then I think around November, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up again. Get it going. I mean, it didn't really end. It was just not giving care.
Right. Right.
Right.
I don't even remember when we hit our first 1,000. I want to say early 2022,
Mm.
maybe something like that. I believe, and was it? I don't know. Not important. And that when I saw that, I was like, okay, maybe we can just if we just keep going, we just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it worked a little bit. I mean, I think we reached 2K after a BAF, so I mean, it didn't grow very quickly. We were losing followers.
Mm.
We wouldn't really have any tweets bang, and I mean, it was pretty stagnant for the longest time.
Yeah.
But I couldn't let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even that I was addicted to the tune or whatever. I was I hated failure.
Mm.
I hated so many people would shit talk, and I'm like, I can't end it.
Yeah.
I can't. And now, even if I had to nowadays, I mean, I'd come back to it. The only reason I would is for reasons that make sense, school, IRL, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
VAFT came along. A VAFT originally. It's a funny story. So I picked up a VAFT probably about a year ago as a manager.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do scouting, whatever." And originally, I didn't want him in because
Mm.
he was a friend of Clarity, and Clarity, biggest troll
Mm.
tweeter.
Mm.
And and I knew a VAFT as a troll tweeter, so I was like,
Don't know about that one.
I don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
want to. I don't really want to do it. And I did. I did the bullet. And I did it. And he was scouting. We had a pretty decent roster going of free agents, and Lacey, Lacey hit us up around that time.
Mm.
Mm.
And then he was unannounced for about a week because we were still building we're gonna do like an announcement of like a few people.
Mm.
He tipped on us
Mhm.
around November. After VAF took a break probably August to late mid October maybe.
Mm.
Yep.
And he came back. He's like, "All right, I'm ready." It's management stuff. I'm like, "All right, cool. Same shit, different day." He's like, "Hey, do you want me to start putting in money?" I was like, "You really, really do not have to. Like, I'm telling you, dude.
Mm.
I was planning on ending it in 2023 because I just wanted to just live."
Mm.
And I'm telling him like, "Dude, you really, 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 really do not have to. Like, I'm
Mm.
telling you, do not put money into this."
Mm.
He's like, "I'm doing it." I'm like,
That's VAPS. Yeah.
Sounds like him.
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm either doing it here, or I'm doing it, or I'm doing my own team doing it." It's like, well, all right,
Yeah.
okay, might as well. So
I
we
just
get
let
Swansea.
him. Yeah.
We get Swansea, and then we get Vert into Roller, and then we get K Burbs, Lays, Nexi. Actually, no, I think Nexi was 2023.
K
Sorry.
Burb. Yeah,
We
sorry.
got Jack. We got Jack on New Year's.
Yeah.
Horrible decision, by the way. Love Jack, but just not a great idea. Not for what we knew and what we were doing.
Mm.
And
I like how you're honest about it.
there's no reason. I mean,
Well, I
don't
mean,
like
it is.
gatekeep any
It's not
knowledge.
personal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not personal at all. I mean, I love
Yeah.
the dude. Like,
Yeah. There are a lot of people who I would love to sign if there was about having buddies on a team, but it's not. I mean, it's about
not.
profitability. I mean, that's the sad part of
Right.
it. I mean, you have to make business decisions, and
you have to
this
do something.
this scene is so unique because there's so many blurred lines because it's like, oh, it can start as a friend group or it can start with a bunch of people who are really close, but then
PNG started as a friend group.
you have to start getting to this point of making those decisions that are business if you want to be a business, and that's
That's
I mean
what was hard for Veft for the longest time.
mm,
He
Yeah.
didn't want to say no.
mm,
That's why
Right.
Nexi was on so long. Nexi didn't do shit. Like, I love
Mm.
Nexi, great kid, funny kid, but as having him on a team was just not the move.
mm,
Wasn't
Having him as a
popular.
friend or whatever, he's awesome. I mean, love the guy. I used to love watching him on YouTube, but again, business wise, just wasn't the move.
Right.
Jack was sort of the move competitively.
mm.
Didn't really want to participate though, so fuck it. Cut ties.
So like your experience with working with a VAF, like even since the last year, how's that been? When it
It's
comes to
really
everything.
so it's pretty headstrong, pretty stubborn. I remember telling him this is literally before I went to bed one night, and I'm telling him we don't need anybody else on the team. We're fine where we are. Let's rock with this. Let's make content. We're good. Okay.
Yeah.
I wake up. We signed Nexi while I'm asleep. I'm being so serious.
Like
Signed
you had
Nexi.
no clue.
No idea. Nothing ran through me. Nothing.
Mm,
Like, I was like, okay. And I'm pretty sure that happened like 2 more times,
mm,
if I'm correct. I don't remember though. And well, fuck it. And he's still really headstrong,
Oh yeah.
and that's kind of hard sometimes because I'm basically having to be like the PR team for PO, and you'll say some shit, and I'll be like, dude, listen,
Relax. Yeah. Like.
if you weren't in the position that you were in, semi excusable, but like whenever I talk about our brand being loose and fun, that just some of the things there is still a line, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Very
yeah.
much so. Very much so.
Like, I,
Yeah, I mean,
oh,
I remember. Yeah, I remember a tweet during Dallas that one of our current signed players let out, and
Oh yeah.
I had like a moment about it because I'm like, dude, this is like, especially since we just had 2 qual to Saudi. Hmm.
what was the situation? Oh my God.
Remember the tweet that I brought up by one of our players?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, we can't be tweeting that like it was.
Um,
So I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like I love that our brand is lay the pipe and out there, and like that we are very distinct from other orgs. But like there are things that if we want to be successful and run a business, that we can't dip over into. It's like we have to push it to the right amount.
and I
And that was
remember like debating it at the time because I just wasn't thinking straight.
mm,
And but then I thought about it. I was like, he would have just deleted it either way, and it wasn't anything. For the record, it wasn't anything that was like socially unacceptable. Just brand.
Mhm.
yeah.
It wasn't like any like or anything.
Yeah. It wasn't like racist or anything, but it was.
So
But
Yeah.
it was like it was something that would
it was not a good look.
in search of
Not good, no.
sponsorships. Sponsors would have been like, nah, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, still love that guy though.
Yeah.
And again with the VAF, right? Well, like what I say, like I love the kid to death. I mean,
Mhm.
I would not. Obviously, PL wouldn't even be a thing without him anymore because I was gonna be done. I even had a tweet longer pin
Mm,
about it, and I mean, just trying to think. He's again like he's just really headstrong, and sometimes that's
Mm.
really good
yeah.
because it means he's in it
Yeah.
for the long haul. But also sometimes it's like, hey, like you just got to hear us out, like.
Yeah.
But again, I can't. 'Cause I feel like it comes off the wrong way if I say it. That's what I always worry about. It's gonna be like, no, I hated that music for his money. Like, no,
Mm.
like
Does
don't
he
make
does he
people-
know like you feel this way, or does he know like
Pretty much, yeah. I've had talks with him. I'm
Okay.
like, dude,
then that's good.
there's some things you just can't do, and I mean, that's really all I have about him. I mean, we've had a lot of personal talks, and what's nice is that we're friends outside of business, and this is in
Yeah.
a way that it makes what we do a lot easier, rather than harder, because I can get on his ass and he'll know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And be like, listen, I'm not just saying this from the standpoint, but holy shit.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, kind of from an outsider's perspective of your guys' dynamic, you guys are like polar opposites in the way that you manage, and that's actually it's
100%.
really nice. I'm not gonna lie, because there are things where I know when I should go to a VAFT and when I should go to Jank based on like what I need or what I want the answer to be or whatever. Or I'm like, okay, this is Jank's niche, this is a VAFT niche, and it was like, as much as I love a VAFT, I'm really, really glad that you were the one in Dallas, because you were a lot more. You were gonna make good decisions. You were
Well, I had
business oriented.
experience.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but it was like you're the one who was worried about PL stuff first, and then all of your personal stuff and going out and whatever secondary.
Oh, yeah.
And like
That was
I
definitely
mean, Dallas
secondary.
for you, me, and Sad especially was a business trip. I mean, we were nonstop moving the whole time
First
we
day
were
was
there.
hell. First day was so
Dude, I
hard.
remember we were getting jerseys, we were doing media pictures, we were doing interviews, we had the whole watch party set up. Like, I mean, you were like,
videos. I was like, hey, do you guys need water? Do you guys need
yeah,
like, okay, I'm
no,
going up
literally,
to tell
yeah,
them like, I'm going back up to my room. I'm having a lot of back pain,
yeah,
but like, here's my phone number.
yeah,
Here's my Discord.
yeah,
Call me, text me, whatever. Like, just
yeah,
let me know, and I will be down there as soon as I can.
yeah. No,
Actually,
I mean,
because one time Malinke was like, I need water, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I got distracted by another conversation. I was like, oh shit, I need to go down there. Got down there, everything's closed. And I'm like, I was so disappointed in myself. But again, I just try to put it
Wait, was the
first.
Dallas hotel that everybody, or the hotel in B&B that everybody was staying at? How far was that from the actual venue?
The one I was staying at was actually attached to it. I stayed at the Omni with Rich Homie Quinn. Shut up.
Mm.
And the B&B that Elite was in is probably
it was like 20.
20 minutes, 30
Yeah.
minutes, depending on traffic. Somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like Cooper and a lot of them stayed in like walkable distances, but and they drove it for their PCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of hotels just around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The immediate area. Yeah.
Yeah.
How was Dallas overall for you? What were kind of your thoughts on the experience? I mean, from a PL's perspective, and then from a personal perspective.
From PL perspective, I wish the content would have come out better than I thought.
Mm.
It's partially on me. I didn't record enough. I didn't take enough initiative
Mm.
with doing it, I believe. Like, I was watching the video, I'm like, oh my god, the audio was fucked. Like, I should have been like, hey, can we check this first?
Yeah. Yeah.
And do all this and have the
Yeah.
settings right. But I didn't. But it didn't cross my mind. Now that it
Sure.
has, it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever
it's a learning experience. Next time, I mean, next, Atlanta or whatever land we go to, we'll get it. I mean,
Yeah, because like Dallas, first for PL, my concern was, okay, I got to give them these hats, and I got to give one kid this monitor, and then I'll record them whenever they get in finals. Of course, I didn't make finals. And then Atlanta, I think I had Malinke. I think I actually just had Malinke, now think about it. Malinke and this Tristan. I got Tristan like the day I was like, ah, fuck it, you're in. His kid named Skater, but he was just weird about it. And that's where I met Malinke. And then San Diego was completely different. Flipped the whole switch because I'm like, shit, now I've got Pars, Vert, Roller, Chronos.
yeah.
It's just me. I gotta walk around, record, do all this. I got no content. Like, I got basically just a bunch of B-roll.
It is hard. It's hard because people are like, we'll just have a camera out, but it's like I'm doing so many other things. It's very hard to just like be in the moment and like, oh, I'm just gonna pull a camera out right now and like sit there, because there's so much that you're doing and you're bouncing so many places and trying to make everyone happy and making sure everyone can qual or everyone has the code, or I mean, yeah, it's
got water and
yeah.
The hard thing about Dallas, honestly, it's kind of personal, but my back pain.
Yeah.
That was a real question, because I couldn't always be down there. Because
Yeah.
scoliosis, fun. And what was nice is that my hotel room was right there, but like, it kind of sucked not being able to always be hands on while sad and you were always down there.
Mm.
Like I just couldn't do it. The
Yeah,
chairs
yeah.
would have made it worse, honestly. And
Yeah.
I felt really like guilty the
Mm.
whole trip because I'm like, Sad is working his ass off to even be here,
Mm.
and I'm up in my room like licking my wounds. Like
Mm.
I felt horrible, and I honestly still do, and I know it's something I can't really control or couldn't in the moment.
Yeah.
But again,
Well, and you were doing what you
it's
could. I
down.
mean,
That's a-
if you hadn't like taken those moments, you probably would have been out for longer. You know, like the last like day or
Longer.
two or whatever. So
It's a sustainability thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean,
you can't
balance
risk.
it.
The
Yeah.
one thing that will always block people out from doing what they love to do, it's the one thing that will you can't jeopardize it, is health.
Yeah.
You can't jeopardize what you love.
mental or physical. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
very real thing. I
Like
mean,
again, like you have your episodes, you have your moments where you're like, damn, like I regret this, or like, damn,
Mm.
I wish I could go back to this, but it's like at the same
You
time,
confine yourself to the present.
you
Yeah.
can't. You have to confine yourself to the present. Exactly. Like you need to think
Yeah.
about the things that. What
What
I
matters
have a
right
quote. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What my quote is like, you gotta think about things the way you don't want to think about things, even if it means. That's
Oh
my quote
yeah,
that I say all the time,
Yeah.
and I say
comfortability.
that as jokes, but it's true.
Well,
Like,
that ties to stoicism too. It's like coming to grips with reality the way it is and accepting it for what it is and doing the best that you can
And
with
just
that.
going.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
dude, I mean, the best comparison I can make is even my parents know. Even if it meant like I didn't finish high school and I had to take another year, if it was for my health, then they'd be fine with it.
Mm.
They always tell me like my health matters most. Like if I can't finish high school because my health won't let me,
Mm.
don't go another
Yeah.
year. Go wait
Yeah.
time out. Like I will never jeopardize anything for my health,
Mm.
and they know that.
Yeah.
And it's
I
the same
mean-
thing around with anything.
Yeah. No, but I mean, besides that, I mean, I feel like one of the happiest times I've seen you since I've known you was
Mhm.
that night after we recorded the podcast and we were just kind of chilling, shooting the shit, whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was a magical night for me to meet C Mills and just like all the people honestly in that Airbnb. Everyone was just like the most interesting conversation I've ever had.
I love that.
It made me
Yeah.
like, I didn't think it was possible for me to get more into and more motivated for what I'm doing and into the scene and whatnot. But like that night, just like I can run on that for months. Like just that one, I'm like, yeah, dude. And I know a lot of people right after Dallas immediately were like, I'm booking my trip to Atlanta as soon as possible. I'm not missing another DreamHack. Like there was this atmosphere. It was very distinct at Dallas because I went to Atlanta last year and there was a sense of community, but Dallas was so much stronger. Like it was
That
really
a
just
lot
like,
different.
yeah, it was like everyone fucked with everyone. Nobody had it. Like it was all like we're just one giant family. Nobody had an ego.
Yeah,
I
it's a
I
lot
really
better in San Diego.
I really felt like I could go up and talk to anyone and they would have, introduced themselves and then we could have had a conversation and whatnot. And I did. I mean, I talked to some random ass EU pros and not like unknown names. Like I talked to Scram for a little bit, like super cool dude. Never in my life would I approach Scram, but like he was just at a, he was like, I was passing him and it was,
Just what it was.
yeah.
It's just
and-
another dude at the end of the day.
yeah. No, I mean, it is.
Yeah,
and
we're all there. It breaks down.
Yeah.
I think you said this in Dallas. It breaks down like an emotional barrier. Where you're like, well, like I'm
Yeah.
kinda here and they're here, and
yeah.
Would you say it
brings a
breaks
lot
down
of
the
people-
ego?
yeah.
Go ahead.
A lot of people with a higher ego, it brings them down a bit.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. Does
People
it break the
would-
egotistical barrier? That's what
A lot
literally
of
was gonna say.
people that are scared of those egos or whatever, it brings them up in a way, not in a bad ego way, but in a way that they're like,
We're
just like
equals.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It brings them up. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's honestly like that's a lesson I think that you learn, and once you learn that, it becomes really valuable. Is like all the streamers, pro players, whoever you look up to, they're equal to you. Like they're just people, like they're people who have succeeded in something, and I'm not knocking on that at all. Like the people who have become
people.
pros and made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Good on you. Like that's awesome, and I admire that. But also, like you're just a kid at the end of the day. I'm just a person.
We're all
Like.
human.
And that when you have that mindset about everything, this industry gets so much easier because you stop limiting yourself by having this preconceived notion that, oh, this person is above me, or I can't approach them, or I can't do this and that. And that's kind of what the LAN experience does in a natural way. It doesn't have to be artificial. It just, I mean, I think a lot of it is, okay, at the minimum, all of these people made their way out here with their own money because they're passionate enough about this game. So it puts everyone on that even landscape of like, we're all passionate enough to fly out or to drive out to this thing and like spend 3 days here doing this, just this. And like, but it was Dallas especially was, I would say it was on par with Invitational for me, which is really surprising for a DreamHack. Invitational was like one of the top experiences of my life. I wouldn't take it back for anything. Like it really changed my view on esports, my view on life. I met some really, really important people. I mean, that was where I met Bronos, and that kickstarted everything to get me to where I am now. And I wouldn't be, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else but PL right now. I mean, I'm just so
Yeah.
I mean, like it was the domino effect that led me to, I believe, really where I'm supposed to be in it. And I'm a bit more of a spiritualist in that sense, because I really do believe in like some kind of plan or fate or whatever you want to call it to some degree. I believe in like a free will where like, if you don't make the choices that are living your best life, then you have free will to do so. But there is like an optimal version of your life, and if you're living life right, you'll live into that. And I really believe that PL is a part of that. So
Yeah.
I remember you tweeted right after Dallas, so like, what land should I go to? Because you're kind of already planning.
I'm really torn, man. I don't think I'm gonna do Denmark. Now think about it.
Really?
Expensive.
Mm.
Atlanta's just realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Realistic, yeah.
Love to do
Yeah.
Denmark. No way.
Yeah. But I mean,
Denmark would be fine. It's just the pricing for sure.
yeah. I mean, Denmark will be special, and I really hope that PL gets to at least send one person, whether it's Sad or me or whoever, for some kind of like media and networking and business, whatever. Because it just, I mean, talking to C-Mills especially about like what Invitational was like in the back, like in the player lounge and all of that, like he kind of described an even more unique and special experience. He talked about like the partner party and all of that. But yeah, I mean, I want to go to every single one I can now. I'm going to every land that I can make it to, and that I can afford. TwitchCon as well. I'll be going to this year because it really is. It's a magical experience, and I think everyone in this scene should do it because it makes
Go at least once.
it makes everything that you talk about and that you like think about in the gaming world, it makes it so much more tangible and it makes it so much more palpable. It's like
Definitely.
it
So
really
then,
is.
Would you say that the investment of going to a LAN, there's a good ROI of it just from the connections you're making?
It pays off itself a million times over. I mean, if you can afford it at all, do it. I would say no doubt in my mind. I don't really care what that ticket costs. If you have that money, do it.
This guy texted me and was like, oh yeah, you'll make money in the future. You buy a ticket and come through. I was like, I got you, and then I never came through.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how to explain it. It's just seeing everybody
Yeah.
and
For sure.
I mean from a personal or team or player or spectator perspective, anything, I feel like if you go at least with somebody or someone going, like you're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be it's just gonna be I just don't know how to explain it. So I'd say it awesome. And
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, it makes. I mean, think about like how much you enjoy your life, like because a lot of these people, think about how much you enjoy being on Discord with these people or playing games with these
Yeah.
people, and then multiply that by 100 because you're seeing this person in real life. You're going to get food with them. You're riding in a car with them. You get to talk to them for hours at a party or whatever it is. I mean, it makes that connection because you've never been in person to take that relationship that was predominantly online and make it like an in-person thing just makes you feel so much more connected to all of those people that you meet. The people that I've interacted to at LAN and the people I've interacted with only online, I have very different types of like love or relationships with. Because it just there's something that changes in the relationship that you can't really take back after you like meet those people in person and whatnot.
V-Zone,
No, but
Crackly, Elmo, like
yeah,
all the people I've known for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just and seeing Cooper again, basically, but on a different standing, you can say, not in a bad way, but just
Yeah.
knowing so much more about him. We have we have like a work relationship basically, but also a friendship, and like, I mean, I had something else.
Speaking on land, like, sorry to cut you off, but speaking
There
on
it
the whole lands thing, Saudi's in a week.
yeah,
Scary.
yeah,
Scary.
that's wild.
There's
I
just no
mean,
way I can. I hope I get someone that can video.
yeah.
I'm not as serious as he might be going.
No, I mean, actually, we should talk about that because I remember the moment that we had to qual, and it was like finalized, and like, I mean, it was you, me, and Sad, I think, sitting there at that, dude. It was unreal. I mean, I felt on top of the world. Like I was on like a natural high. I mean, it was just, I don't know. It was that sense of accomplishment is not something I've felt in a long time. I mean, like, I don't know. But describe that, especially from an owner's perspective, because I mean, I just got on the org and I still was like, oh my gosh, like I could cry right now.
Well, okay. It's like 2 years ago. If you would have told me I'd be doing what I'm doing, I'd say bullshit. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, a year ago, bullshit. No way, not a chance. No way. Like, if you would have told me, this is what I was thinking about earlier. We were talking about meeting our friends and stuff. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I'd be staying in Dallas in the same hotel room as Rich Homie Quinn, someone who I say used to look up to, but in like an idol way, and not.
Yeah,
like
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I would have just said bullshit because I was just a fan.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then like actually forming a bond, I'm just like 2 years ago, I'd been like, what the fuck? A
Yeah.
lot of these pros and a lot of these events, and like you're gonna have you're gonna have a player get to Denmark and then 2 going to Saudi.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I remember in the moment, I was ecstatic. I was freaking the fuck out. Like I wanted to grab Puppers and lift him up.
Yeah.
So I'm being so serious. I
Yeah.
wanted to just manhandle him and be like, holy shit, dude, you did it.
Yeah.
I know what kind of person he is, but
Yeah.
honestly, leaving Dallas, I was still it still felt really surreal, and honestly felt kind of empty because I was like, this is what I've been craving, and it felt almost like a temporary high because, again, like this was something I wanted to let go, and like I don't know how to explain it. Like I did feel like a true sense of emptiness because keep in mind, Avafta is basically the angel investor. Same with Sad and everyone else we brought on. That it almost feels like I did nothing. You know what I mean? It almost just feels like I'm a face, I'm just a face. So I was like, did I really do this, or
bit of imposter syndrome set in?
Or was I just there to witness it with the same 2 letters in my name? Like, am I just a face? Like, and I still every day, ever since Avaf was started putting in money every day, it's like, do I really deserve to be where I'm at? Should I really be calling the shots? Should I be doing anything? Like, should I just go back to management? Should I, just full time with Devour, or look into Moon, or just every day, honestly, is like a battle with that. I wake up, I read the group chat, and I'm like, why am I even here?
Well, I wouldn't recommend that because the group chat is no. But I mean,
it's tough.
No, I get that. I really do. I mean, but there are a lot. I think, obviously, you started it. You stayed with it. Whatever the reasoning for that was, I mean, it wouldn't be anywhere if you hadn't put in that work originally. And Avaf's coming on as part of it is just an addition. I mean, it's like
huge one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I'm not belittling Avaf's. I mean, Avaf's one of the most passionate people that I've met, for sure, especially about esports and Fortnite in particular. I mean, he is going to go down to his last dollar if he has to, if it means PL, but also just the
I
whole
don't wanna
scene.
broke.
Yeah,
Just,
but
again,
but
imposter
you are a fundamental part of it. I mean, you Sad and Avaft are really a powerhouse of management, and honestly,
syndrome. Yeah.
seeing
That is
seeing
insane.
seeing other orgs and how they're run and who's running them, it's not like there's very little good competition that you
It's a
have.
There's a
joke
lot
compared
more
to you
there's a
guys.
lot more management doing a lot less things.
Right.
There's a lot
Yeah.
less
Yeah, I mean,
management.
honestly, the only, I mean, the fact that we're competing with T1s that have actual people on like full-time salaries and are like, you know, an actual like corporation essentially. I mean, because really,
Yeah, these, like,
we're getting in
powerhouses.
conversations with elite, with, you know, people
Big
of that
houses.
size and nature, and that's to do that at the scale that we are and with the people that we are. I mean, I remember when I first got on and I was telling all the people around me, you know, oh yeah, like, you know, this is the org I'm on, and they're like, oh, so you have like owners? Like, yeah. And they're like, how old are they? I was like 18, 17,
I started it when I was
19.
15.
Yeah,
I
like,
was 15
and
years
they're
old.
like, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, this is not like, it's not chump change either. Like, we're moving money and we're doing things and we're you know,
Part of
acquiring sponsorships and all that. Like, yeah,
That's
it's
part of the imposter syndrome. It's like, should I be doing this young? I mean,
mm,
what are other people doing? Why am I
yeah,
here? Why am I here
yeah,
doing this age? I threw away my childhood. Like,
mm,
it's like I said, everyday struggle.
mm,
But that's only part of the mentally taxing part of PL. I mean, honestly, doing all the meetings and stuff. Honestly, I feel like I'm talking on behalf of EFT, because
mm,
again, I feel, like I already
mm,
explained, and that's just what's been really, really just a big pain in the ass for me. But it's not that I don't appreciate them or anything. It's that I almost don't appreciate what I do or what I've done.
mm, mm.
I don't.
No,
What just happened?
my sister did not know that. It's fine. Continue.
That's rude. Anyways, but yeah, it's I don't know how to hammer the point home,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just how it is. Like I said,
Um,
with Sad doing all the work he did in Dallas,
mm,
and then I'm like, why am I here?
mm.
I
So,
still felt hungry and empty.
mm, I get you. So, speaking of Sad, Sad came from Nerve. Sad was a owner co of Nerve Gaming, and he was the only part. And Sad, I mean, credit to Sad man, because like you said, in Dallas, that guy was working his ass
Insane
off. I
worker.
mean, he has some of the best
Oh,
work ethic I've ever seen. And he just
I've never met anyone like him.
he's so business minded in such a good way. I mean, he cannot stand to see a day go by without something productive being done towards one of the business goals that are set out. I mean, he can't handle it. And he is,
I've realized.
yeah. But no, I mean, he came from Nerve, and he was the only thing that remained of what was supposed to be a merger between not two but three orgs. Um, it was supposed to be Flu and Nerve being acquired into Pipeline, and they were gonna all combine and be one roster, which was supposed to be the fabled Bandits roster.
Yeah, I got a crazy story. So
Yeah. Like, how did that
I
come
didn't
to
sign
be?
any
Because
NDAs for anybody, so I can
yeah,
talk freely as I want.
yeah,
So originally, our True Fate, kind of a
mm,
well-known name, not for the right
yeah,
reason, not because of controversy or anything. It's just because they go, come back.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, I remember
um,
they were really growing on Twitter at one point. Like, Bougie, was that the owner at one?
still is.
Oh yeah, wow.
He's the one that came to me in a bath and was like, "Hey, I wanna merge,"
Mm.
and he's talking big bucks, and we're like, "Oh."
Maybe, yeah.
But he wanted to acquire us, and I was like,
Mm.
I don't know. Like, Bougie's a great guy, sweetheart. But then the guy he had us working with is a kid named Justin. Worst person I've had the displeasure of working with.
Wow.
There was nothing. There's times when you have to be business minded, personality minded, if that makes sense, like being personable.
Yeah.
He had a business mindset, but a shitty one.
Mm.
If that makes sense. Like you have to have a mix.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to understand that you're talking to a human.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
And he was just one of the hardest people to work with, and not one of those where it's like he hurt my feelings. He's like, no, he just any idea we ever had shot down without us being able to explain anything. He wanted it
Mm.
streamlined his way, and
Mm.
all you could do was sit there and let it happen because this is the guy doing all this work. Well,
Mm.
at times he couldn't. And I
Right.
told Bougie, like, this is nothing against you or the Fate brand, but like, I will not be disrespected, and I will not be put down as if I'm just some underling of this guy. Like, I refuse
Yeah.
to go through with this or work with y'all or talk to y'all if anything is going to involve, this guy.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I was like, listen, Bougie, love you, but I'm heading the fuck out, and I left everything that was involved in it.
Right.
And the end of after, like, we gotta get looking. So I DM'd AKA. Originally, I wanted to do Flu, and I was like, they probably won't. So but anyways, I DM'd AKA Noah. He wasn't really in on it, mainly just because of the synergy between him and the other owner. Really glad we didn't do that, by the way, because Noah said some questionable things in the past months.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so then I hit up Flu. I was like, hey, I got an idea, and I might have another team. Like, all right. I was talking to Blizzy. He's like, all right, that sounds like a good idea. Like, I know you're a good kid, and I know you to run things. I'm like, all right, bet. And then I can't remember how Nerve got in the picture. I might have DM'd DJ. They might Sad and DJ might DM'd us. Don't remember.
Mm.
We're getting plans. Like, we're talking. So we're going to cut from our roster. Each person saying this, like, this is going to be our super team. These are these are people we're going to bring on. People that are leaving off. There's a roster for this, roster for that.
Yeah.
We have branding bought.
Yeah.
Tag, clan tag, jerseys, hats. Like, we were setting everything up.
Right.
And then
this was right around the time that we did our episode with Avaft, because he told us a little bit about that. So that I mean, this is months ago. It's not even. Yeah.
And then Blizzy, he was very busy because he was doing he was going back to college to get a certain business degree.
Mm.
So we're being patient with him. Like, okay, like, I get it. And then he just stops responding. 2 weeks go by, nothing. We're like, shit. Well, we know he's not dead. And
most probably.
So we're like, okay, he's not dead. And then Sad is getting really impatient. He's like, I'll wait it out. DJ is like, nope, I'm out. Completed it. And then I remember Sad was talking to me, and Vafty's like, I really like the way y'all do things, and I think y'all could use my help, and I could use y'all's, and we could work really well together. I can put in this amount and this and that, and yada yada yada. We're like, one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Yeah,
hands down. Like, Sad. I mean, a lot of people talk about Avaf saving us. Sad on all of the fronts besides comp, definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, I mean it takes all of you. You all do a very crucial element of it. I mean, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Sad is really overlooked. I mean, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, he's pretty low profile.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
For sure.
He came on kind of late, so I feel like his work isn't appreciated as much. He came on recently.
I mean, yeah.
So
I mean, he just hit his 2 or 3 month. He's only been on for he's only been on for like a month longer than me. So like,
you're on YouTube like 400 subs actually. I might actually. I think it was like 550. I'm gonna check our studio right now.
Yeah, because we just hit 600 on the team channel.
Correct. Yeah, we're at 602. If I can, let me find the sub analytics.
Yeah, but I mean, he cranks it out, dude. I mean, his content ideas, he cranks it out. He gets everything scheduled. I mean, he's a really hard worker, and I'm really happy that he still came across. And honestly, like, the way he talked to me about it was that, like, it was honestly an improvement from Nerve, because he said he was doing most of everything at Nerve. Yeah, which is like,
I can't really blame DJ, but like, that's just how it was.
Yeah,
DJ's a literal father.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't really mad at DJ. He was just like, I want something different.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 330 subs in the last 90 days.
Yeah.
And in the last, can I get a 2023? As of 2023, we gained 419.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
insane growth. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad is someone I'll
He
be
actually.
thankful for the rest of my life, no matter what
Where?
happens.
Hold on, let me find it. Sorry.
Bless you.
So tired. Let me find it. Sad DM me yesterday. It was so random. I don't talk to Sad too often because when we do talk, it's about like pricing stuff and whatnot. But let me find it.
Okay.
Sad. I asked Sad for tips on YouTube, but it was like
Mm.
a month and a half ago,
Mm.
and it was like Sad was like he'll get back to me, but I guess he got really busy. I was like, that's fine. It's
Yeah,
cool.
he
I
is.
figured
He's
out
been
stuff
super
for it.
busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah, it's cool. Yesterday it was 7:30, and I was I was out. I was out with friends, and he sends me hey and sends me a screenshot of my video description. And he says, "Stop doing this. It doesn't hit algorithm anymore." I was like, my brain didn't rack. Like I understood like what he meant from his message, but my brain
Yeah.
didn't rack around the point that he just randomly DM'd me about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was like,
Oh,
I
it's
was
because he
like,
cares. He
okay.
knows it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. And he's like, I was like, oh yeah, is there anything like, is there something else I should do? And he's like, just use tags and stuff. And I was like, okay, thanks. But it didn't
Yeah.
rack my brain. Like he just randomly sent a DM after like 2 weeks, just
Yeah.
saying, yo, fix this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
Like
he does.
he
He
genuinely cares.
Yeah. Yeah. He
One
does.
thing, one thing about it is, he puts a lot. I mean, from what I know, puts a lot more time into IRL stuff than he does PL. And if that tells you anything about how hard of a worker he is, because a lot of his time is towards us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like that just tells you anything, man. Like
Yeah,
he's-
and he works crazy hours to support all the PL stuff too.
and that's
I mean,
part of my imposter syndrome because I feel bad.
actually, this is a great story to tell to highlight it. Last day of Dallas, because for Ghost Comps, I knew that we needed to get an in-person episode done. I was like,
Right.
this needs to be done. It's gonna pop off just because of the relevancy of Dallas. Anyone who knows Fortnite is gonna know that there was a LAN. I want to do an in-person episode. I don't care who's on it, really. I want to take advantage of that opportunity and make it happen. And we had done the whole viewing party thing, and that was my mics and my headsets, but it was Sad's dad's
XLR board.
audio mixer, yeah, audio interface, because I needed an interface with 4 mic inputs, which I didn't have at the time. I have one now, so I'll be completely independent come Atlanta, and whatever LAN I go to. But I was relying on SAT, and that's like it's 450 plus like dollars worth of equipment. Like it's not cheap by any means.
Yeah,
And it's not even his, right? It's his dad's. So he's basically loaning this to me. And I remember the last day he had to go back because he was working the next day. So like he called his dad. He was like, "Hey, we have this opportunity. I need to like lend this to to one of my guys. Like it'll get done, whatever." He called his dad and convinced him to let me have it and then ship it back to them, so that I could get the episode done. So he brings me to the Elite Airbnb and drops me off, and then immediately like from there leaves to go back because he lives in Houston or like Houston area. So it's like a 3-hour drive that he needed to get home. I mean, it's like 9-10 p.m. at this point because we didn't finish.
That's when you got there. So I
Well,
got there pretty soon after you.
No, maybe it was a little bit earlier, but I mean, I remember
got there
like
around-
he got home at like 2 a.m. and then he went to work at like 5 or
2 a.m.
6.
you.
Yeah. He and then he went to work at like 6 the next morning. But I mean, he left that with me to ship it back. I did the episode while he's driving back to Houston to go to work the next day so that he can, make money to pay everyone and to fund PL and all that. I mean, that
To live.
yeah, and to live. I mean, yeah, like he's
Like,
if that doesn't highlight how much he cares, that like and just kind of, I mean, honestly, I haven't really seen that. I've seen that out of everyone in the management at PL. I mean, that like that's and you want to talk about, okay, what makes us different from all of those other small tier 2, tier 3, whatever you want to call them, orgs that are making us in those conversations with Dig and Elite and all that. It's that. I mean, I look at other management and other orgs. I mean, it's funny that you bring up 2 a.m. because not to completely knock them, but like when you compare our management and our work ethic and what we're doing versus theirs, I mean, they just kind of seem like a joke.
Kind of knocks it out
They
the
just
park.
kinda,
Just
I'm
not-
not gonna lie, they just kind of shit the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like the owners, uh,
They've
they
been
don't
so
take account
questionable.
they don't take accountability. They say so many questionable things. I mean, they've been exposed
Yeah.
10, 20 times.
Yeah.
Whenever I was, I've only
I think
told
I
this story.
still
to
have,
Huh?
I think I still have a Google Doc that literally says, hold
Oh,
on,
the
it's
the
literally
whole
called a,
I
exposing
tweeted it.
the
yeah,
exposing 2 a.m.
I
thing.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
is it, yeah,
Um,
2 a.m. Esports exposed racist, misogynistic, antagonizing,
It's
manipulative.
like 8 pages. It is crazy. I mean,
and a YouTube video on top of it.
It's 22 pages.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember being at the basketball court,
Mm.
and if you know anything about me, if I'm at a party, get together, whatever, and there's someone I don't like, I'm just like, oh, sorry, I thought I heard
Oh,
a
good
dog at
chilling.
the door.
You're good.
But fuck is that noise? Anyways, um, chirping. Maybe I'm just tired. But if I'm ever at an event or anything with someone I don't like or whatever, I just want to keep the peace. We're all here to have fun. There's no reason
Yeah.
to rope anybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
was,
like I'm not trying to open up anything or reopen anything. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I'll leave you alone to live your life, and you leave me alone to live mine. It's just that simple.
yeah,
I
like
mean,
I was at a party with this oh, my dogs are. Oh, my
I
dogs
think
are
if I
barking.
played, I think I played ball on. If I played a ball on that ball cart, I would have rolled through everybody. No, I'm not too mad.
Yeah, for sure. Anyways, but like, I mean, I've been at parties and it's like, hey, I pulled someone aside. I was like, dude, listen, I hate you with my guts. I do not like you at all. I'm making that clear. However, we're here to have fun.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fuck with you. Or we can sit down. We can do whatever. I'm not gonna mess with you. You're not gonna mess with me. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just because I know no one else there is involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not enough people there are involved for it to happen. Anyways, so whenever I'm at the court with everybody and I see Jeff and I see Subway, and I'm like, oh god, I'm just like whatever, sticking to that mindset. I'm like, I'm not gonna start anything. There's no reason for me to ruin everybody's day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I'm not gonna embarrass anybody else. There's no reason.
Yeah.
Damn, those dogs are still barking. Holy shit. And anyways, and I walk by one of them, and one of them calls me a slur.
Bro.
I'm like, oh, okay. And I stopped. I looked at him. Just kept going. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with it. There's no reason to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like none of these other people are involved in what I have against these people.
Right.
No,
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's no reason to rope them in.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the reason I keep it on Twitter. And not because like, oh, behind a screen, I'm invincible. It's
Yeah.
that because I'm with these other people, I'm not gonna ruin their time. Say now say I saw him at a random place, whatever, or just not at an event really. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course I'm gonna be like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it was I'm about to go check on those dogs. You can cut this. Hold on. They won't shut up. I'm kind of worried. Give me 1 second.
I don't think he's realized we don't cut stuff.
It's so good. Well, I guess it's a good time for announcements. I mean, there's not much, but in case anyone in the audience still doesn't know, we got signed to Pipeline Esports. So we are officially sponsored by Pipeline. You can see it in the overlay there. Ghost Comms X Pipeline. So that's exciting.
Oh, you got it working?
Yeah, I did get it working. So I'm pretty sure it was in the last episode, I think, as well. But it's okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. Oh, you're right.
But
You're right.
yeah,
why.
so that's cool. Exciting things coming up in regards to that. We've enjoyed our time in the Pipeline family, and even while Jank is gone, Jank underplays himself a lot.
Very much so.
He's
You won't hear this part, but it's true.
him, Sad, and Avaft are probably the single best management team out there right now. Especially at the scale that they are. I mean, they're just. I mean, you want to say they're just kids. I mean, because they are. It's like, yeah, we have an 18 just turned 18. Jank turned 18 like the week after Dallas. So an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, and I don't remember. I think Sad is also 19, running a top 2 NA org. I mean, honestly, like I did not have such high hopes for PL. Obviously, the fact that we agreed to join, I knew that
I
they
don't
were.
think I don't think the audience understands that that's my age. They're the
Yeah,
same years to me.
yeah,
We all turned
yeah,
18 this
yeah.
year. Like I'm turning 18
No,
in a few
and I
months.
mean,
Like
honestly, there's a lot for PL on the horizon. Some
very
stuff
much so.
that we can't talk about, but um, there's some
You'll see
really
it.
exciting stuff
Well,
You'll see
going
it.
on.
You'll see
Yeah,
it. You'll
behind
see
the
it at some
scenes.
point.
they
We're
were
gonna be on top. I really have no doubt about that, and I have no plans of leaving anytime soon. I mean,
Neither do I.
I'm in it for the long haul now. Um, but anyway,
anyways. They were barking at a balloon.
oh,
There's a balloon in
nice.
the kitchen kind of swaying. And
Uh-huh.
and I went in there and they started barking at me. I was like, dude,
Nice.
you stop. Anyways,
Give them like a death eye. Yeah.
I just grabbed them by their scruff because they're puppies. So
Fair enough.
what was I talking about?
2 a.m. If you had
2
seen
a.m.
them anywhere other than like an event.
Yeah, I would have confronted them and not like looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Just looking for like a one-on-one. Be like,
Being
dude,
like a what the fuck? Like,
Like what do you
a why?
yeah. Yeah.
And that's just sadly how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I truly believe they're not good people.
Yeah.
I mean,
ill intentions?
you're. I'm gonna quote DC the Don here. Grown ass man, all on my dick. Go get your funds up. 'Cause, again, these are grown men having arguments with kids on the internet all day.
Yeah.
Like, what? Subway's got to be pushing 40.
I don't know.
That boy is
Like
so interesting.
Atreus from God of War. I don't mean that in a good way. Like, and I'm gonna insult them. I'm going to. I don't think they're good people.
Mm.
But
Oh yeah.
Well, that's my line as well. Is I don't really give a fuck if we have disagreements, creative disagreements, or disagreements about how to run an org, or disagreements about the direction of Fort or anything like that. Fine, whatever. But when it comes down to a character thing, yeah, I'm gonna have issues with you. I mean, that really the only people I have like beef with in the comm is like people that I genuinely believe don't deserve their platform and have done terrible things and have no apology or reformation from it. Like they just don't feel remorse for being a bad person. And I'm like, yeah,
as early as possible.
yeah.
That's my thing. It's just.
I mean, it's. I mean, you can't just kind of say, "Oh, it's Fort," which is like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't
Too
know.
young of a.
Also, that's an on paper perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
I mean, has anything like that? Has any like Fort experience? Have you thought about getting out of it and like keeping Pipeline, but maybe expanding into something else?
Such as Valorant or another game.
If you haven't seen the tweet, we are moving into Valorant. The account Pipeline Val, follow it.
Yeah.
We're getting a team to do
Good ad.
stuff, a lot of content. I really want to move into it because it's not as much of a money dump as that then. The way
Right.
FN is structured, it's not profitable no matter which way you look at it, unless your content is just banging.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not profitable. It's just how it is. Because you're not compensating for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that simple. So,
would you do you think that you would ever get to the point where you go completely out of Fort and are in only other games?
No and yes, in a way, because if I were to completely pull out of Fort, it would be competitively.
Right.
I would keep content there. I would keep creators there,
Mm.
or a
Right.
comp player that is doing that thing.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
I don't want to leave my roots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like I want to leave a mark in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have done it already, but
Yeah. I know what you
just hope
mean.
for the better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's never, for me personally. I don't know about anybody else. That's on as an owner, but for me personally, it's never been about the clout or
Yeah.
whatever. Or
Yeah.
a lot of it was for experience, but I also just wanted to do it. I wanted to show people, just I'm young and here I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And these other guys were all young. I mean, the
Yeah.
oldest guy on PL is Visuals, and he's 27.
Yeah.
And he came on recently. Everybody else, you were the oldest one.
Yeah.
And before that, the next was 19.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, besides like player like Protos really, but again, he's 20, 21.
Yeah, 21. His
Yeah.
birthday. Him, me, and Fox are all in March. We're like 3 weeks apart or something like that. But yeah,
But
yeah. I mean,
it's
that's
just how it is. I mean, Cam Nuts now, however old he is, forgot.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's just all.
yeah,
I mean, the scene is young. The scene is young with esports. That's just how it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
But when you're, honestly, again, I feel like I made a mistake doing what I did, stepping into it so young in this
mm,
place. However, I hope it shows other people my age or that my age when I started or whatever that they can do it too.
yeah,
But I feel like they still need to do it better than what we did,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
what we've done.
yeah,
There's always something you can improve on.
yeah,
Always,
Oh yeah.
always a single
Well,
thing.
it's a saying that nothing's ever perfect,
yeah,
Yeah, max out
right?
your
yeah,
fucking stat tree.
But it's better that it's better that nothing's ever perfect because it also gives you something to work for every day.
right,
Keeps you hungry.
yeah,
Keeps you hungry for something.
yeah,
I saw,
It lets other people
dude.
notice that and grow.
What is it? I've seen this quote, and I actually saw it recently on my timeline. It's like, oh, it's not a quote. It's a saying by Shaq, and it's pressure is when you don't know when your next meal is.
Yeah,
It's like you need to have some type of stress or
mm,
pressure or something to keep you hungry to
yeah,
know what you're aiming for next, what your next goal
yeah,
is, what how to heighten your already set goals.
yeah,
And that clip actually like it hits, like it makes sense.
yeah.
Pressure is when you don't know what your next meal is.
Well, and we've had that as a motif across the episodes of the people we've talked to. I mean, people in very
Mm.
successful positions. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
like Fox. I remember very vividly when Fox was on and we talked about, um, he was like, it really didn't click for me until I moved out to Houston and
Yeah.
realized that I have to make money on this shit. I have to be successful or else I'm going to have to go back home and it will all have been for nothing. And I mean, there are a lot of people. I think the perception of how well off all of the Fortnite people are, like the big names you can think of, is really wrong. I mean, even the most, besides like a clicks, obviously is like an obvious exception. Like
Yeah.
basically everyone else below that is like, if they're making a living, it's by a very thin margin. I mean, it's not like they're not making a ton of extra money or anything. I mean, the
that
the
top
ones who are
1% is crazy.
yeah,
That's still a few people.
yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean, it is like a lot of those people are like they're tighter on cash than you would think. Maybe not, like they don't know if they're gonna have a meal, but
Eat out
like
tonight.
yeah, but I mean it is. It's like oh wow, I mean especially at Dallas, I saw a lot of that where it was like struggling to like they were debating whether they should order an Uber because it was too much or whatever. And these are like names where you're like wow, that I would never think that you're in that position. I thought you could just drop as much as you want at a time, and that the perception doesn't match the reality. And a lot of that is I think a lot of that is due to maybe a lack of transparency as well, just from
It's hard to be
creators and
transparent in this community.
yeah, oh for sure, yeah, because you'll get
I
punished for
want
it.
to
I
be
mean
so
that's
bad. I've
yeah,
written up, I've deleted a lot of things. I go into things I've only told,
yeah,
5, 6 people about going out to an audience of 600 or more.
yeah. I mean I know that there are things that I've said and admitted and whatever on stream that people have used against me, come back to haunt me and whatever. And I mean, they take advantage of your vulnerability because if you're vulnerable and the other person isn't, then you take all the heat for it. I mean, that's but
Mhm.
that's I mean, like you said, there's a very distinct I think difference between the types of people who are in it for legacy, impact, charity, something that is
Mhm.
selfless, and then there are the people who are only in it for selfish reasons. And the esports is divided between those two pretty starkly.
Pretty,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's just you, and honestly, it's weird. Like, and I think honestly, that's why that night in Dallas was so important to me because it was a group of at least 4 people that I could name, and it was more of them around, but at least 4 that I was like, all these guys that I'm talking to right now are all in it for the right reasons. We all had the same goals. When we like that conversation that you, me, T Church, and C Mills, and then a few other people had, I was like, these are the right people to be around. These are the people that I want to be talking to every day and developing something with, because those are the people. I mean, we talked about the future of esports. That's it. It's not the people
It's
who are
us.
It's not the people who are making their money right now and then getting out. It's not the people who are worried about clout or attention or fame or money. I mean, it's like it's people who are just when there's no money, when there's no clout to be had, when it's just hard work and impact and sacrifice are still around. And I think that's a lesson to people. I mean, something that I would tell the younger people, especially that are looking to get into the scene and whatever, don't look at the prizes, don't look at the trophies, don't look at the money, don't look at any follower count. Like, look at legacy, look at what you're doing. Yeah, and look at your motivations for wanting to do something. Because it's important, and there's really, really good stuff that can be done here. But honestly, the most important stuff I've found myself doing is not my content. It's not any of that. It's interacting with people, especially younger people. I mean, honestly, I was telling somebody this the other day. I was a youth pastor for 3 years, and I feel like I've been more of a youth pastor in esports than when I was an actual youth pastor, because I have these conversations with younger creators, younger pros all the time, where I'm like, holy shit, you need a lot of guidance. And they're just kids. They don't know what they're doing, but like, I've had opportunities to speak into people and to talk to people and really help them redirect their life in a more positive manner and kind of stop them from shooting themselves or their career or whatever in the foot. And I take that really seriously. And I know that there are other people in the scene that take that seriously as well.
That reminds me. I remember 20, he made a tweet, and like he's been off PL for a few months, but he's still one of like it's one of those people you can't go wrong with, knowing, being friends with, whatever.
Yeah.
I kept a friendship outside of it. I mean, it was a business relationship, but
Yeah.
And he's tweeting like I should just quit. Like I'm not. I didn't make grands last 2 seasons, this and that. And I'm like, he's like, I should just quit gaming, like altogether, just focus on school. And I told him, listen, you do need to focus on school. However, you are too talented to just throw it all in the gutter right now.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
But you have too much of a head start at such a young age to just put it in the dumpster and be a name of the past of the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely care about 20 and a lot of people. I mean, I've had plenty of come to Jesus talks with just random people like Bronos.
Yeah.
It was like, he's been on a downward spiral when it comes to content. And, I was telling him, like, you have to stream it. I'm not saying this necessarily from business, but like, someone who cares about you, like, you need to do something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You're too complacent. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm telling him, and with the way everything's going, you have to be making money.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, oh, ranked was broken. I couldn't stream. And I was like, that's bullshit. You can stream anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told him,
I've had echoes of the same conversation. Like he's extremely talented, and he could be streaming any game. I mean, he's just hilarious. I mean, he knows how to command and entertain an audience so well. I mean, he really could be doing anything.
I love. He's one of the people I'm really glad I was able to meet, and not even like fanboy before PL or whatever kind of thing, because I was at one point, but again, that was way before we ever signed him.
Yeah.
And like, what's nice about some of this PL stuff, it comes out as like, these are people I genuinely care about.
Yeah.
And of course, I need to put business first with a lot of things, but that doesn't mean I can't. You know?
Well, and
of course,
you can
separate when it needs to.
Yeah, but you can keep a good relationship. Like you said with 20, you can drop him from the org and still. But if it's a positive,
it's not personal.
Yeah, if it's a positive relationship, you can keep it after that. And it can be. I still care about you as a person. I'm still gonna help you and care for you. I mean, and that.
It's like breaking up.
Yeah, but it's like no. I mean, you have to have a care for the scene, and there are. I mean, I would say a lot of the people, especially in the power positions at PL, that's what we have, is we have a care for the scene, and honestly, there is this thing where it's like the spirit of competition seems to have gone further beyond just the game, and it's like everyone in esports seems to think that they're competing with each other. I mean, we hear this talk a lot.
Each other up.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. Like and I think that was another part of Dallas that I was really like. Teachers is on Moon, C-Mills is on Elite, there are people representing a plethora of orgs. We're not in competition with each other. And I think like we've seen that. Like I'm down, if Moon hit me up and they wanted to do a video, sure. Like I'm down. Like we need to be building each other up because it's about the industry, it's about the community, it's about the people. It's not
is okay when it's friendly and you're driving innovation.
right. Well, and yeah, like when it comes down to when it comes down to grands and there are multiple orgs represented, you best believe I want my org to be your org. But then when it comes to content, success, livelihoods, people's lives, yeah, I mean, when it comes down to anything other than actual organized competition, yeah, I'm gonna help you. Yeah, I'm gonna build you up. I mean, when we say competitive or like an org is our competitor or whatever, it's like I don't view the scene that way. Like I want all of us to succeed, and I think that attitude needs to be had more. Just because I'm part of one organization doesn't mean I want to see Moon or Elite or Uprise or anyone collapse. Yeah, I mean that's
if Moon told me I need your help, anybody on Moon, I'd be like, okay,
yeah,
let's go.
Right,
like,
right.
I don't know if people in the comm understand it, but I will basically work for any org.
Right.
In some capacity, I will help anybody that I can.
Well, I mean, you're still on Devour. You're doing work for two orgs. I mean,
for Devour. Whenever they finally get, I swear I get one detail every 6 months, and I've been on there for 3. But I still love them. I love everybody on Devour. But it is competitive in a way. I mean, you want to be the best one out there.
Yeah.
And I think it should stay competitive, but it shouldn't stay. You could say neglectful.
Yeah.
Because it feels like our team's going on shitter, fuck them.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like the only reason it should be that way is if it's not ran ethically.
Right.
If it's ran bad, but in a financial decision,
they care it. Yeah.
Way, but there's no character. These are good people doing it. They just don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Now, if it's like a BMD 2 a.m. situation, BMD about a year ago.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Well, because it's about how we want, how the success is gotten is a really important thing to me. And I talk about this a lot in streaming, particularly. I will support any streamer as long as I believe they're a good person. And that's,
I tell that with my music.
Yep.
I mean, that's like, if I don't believe that you deserve your platform, then no, I'm not going to help you. Any other circumstance, great. But if I don't think you deserve a platform, I'm not going to help give you one. And that's just, so like with people I raid or people that I work with or give advice to or help develop whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to probe you, and I'm going to make sure that not that you're worth my time, but that you're worth me furthering your goals. Because if you have a different goal than what I'm trying to develop, I don't want more of that in the scene.
The goal that you want.
Yeah. And I mean, that's so
that position, you could say.
Yeah.
You could even say bragging, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've had people DM me actually a few times. Hey, what can I? And some of them will be like, what can I do to join PL? But it's also a lot of them are like, what's a way that I can become a better streamer? What's a way I can do this and that? What would be something that would get me in? But I'm not asking necessarily, but I'm asking for an owner standpoint of something.
Yeah.
One of them, his name is Pure Gold. I believe he's on PS4.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
I know Pure Gold. Yeah.
Yeah, I met him in Atlanta. Him and Muggsy. And he was like, let me pull up the DM. He was asking, hey, like how can I join? Like what would I need to do?
Yeah.
And this and that. Let me pull it up real quick. I believe it was Pure Gold. Yeah. Okay. He said, I have a question. I don't want to be that guy, but what can I improve on streaming if I want to join PL? And I said, I don't know how you're doing now, but usually look for strong communities. How noticeable your brand is, how stable it is in the long run. And I said, budget clicks isn't marketable. Because in his bio, he says known as budget clicks, and his profile picture is like a clicks thing, right? And he said, I've known for streaming with my sister and dad, if that's marketable, gone from, stats pretty much too much. Thank you so much for the advice, though. I'm going to try finding things that set me apart from others. I said, you just got to be different to stand out and catch people's eyes.
Yeah.
That's true. And I mean, you could be a complete random to me. And as far as I know, if you're not, ripping it on the TO or just saying some crazy shit, like I'm going to help you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get the same thing, and I have people come into my chat and they're like, hey, how can I join? and I'm like, dude, it's not about numbers. It's not about, like I'm
What is
not.
it?
Well, I mean, yeah,
But it's not,
obviously,
that's not the only thing
obviously
we're
I'm
looking
going
at.
to look at it, but I'm
Yeah.
like, but I mean, to be fair, PL took a chance on us, took a chance on me, and my numbers, like,
Yeah.
they don't. I don't think they support what hopefully I've come to have a reputation to be capable of, and that's, I mean that's like I somebody saw. I don't know if it was sad or whoever, but like,
It was all of us. We loved what you were doing.
yeah, and
I
that's
wasn't really in the loop, but I understood. And I was like, fuck it. Yeah, I
yeah.
love this.
I mean, so that like I got on with, I would say, my numbers not necessarily justifying it, but they're obviously, the work spoke for itself, and that's what I tell people is like, if you make something that's worth seeing, people will find it. You just got to put it out there, and that's
Yeah, I looked at YouTube and I was like, okay, he's doing this. Wow, he had Bronos, he had this person. And they're consistent. And they're
yeah,
it's not like a 10-minute interview like what a
Mhm.
lot of people call their podcast. It's like
yeah,
you can almost say feature length. Like
yeah.
it's what it should be.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but I want to keep giving credit to it because I don't want to downplay the origin, but like, it was, when we Vishal first talked to him, and that was however long ago that was. I mean, we talked about Arab's podcast, we talked about brand risk, and we talked about the impact that had on us. And I know for me, brand risk, I mean, getting that view of, especially Ron. I remember Ron's episode. It was like 3 hours talking about depression and the realities of streaming, and kind of the real world human aspects of the world that we romanticize so much, really put an impact on me and made me view the scene the way I do today. It was the beginning of me kind of viewing it as a life purpose, as opposed to just a hobby or a passion, and kind of set in motion everything that I find fundamental to how I approach it today. I wanted to do the same thing, but that's what I tell people is find that thing for you, that piece of content, or that
We talked about starting a podcast for a month and a half right after we met. I think it was literally a week after we met. We got on call like 3 times. We were like, wouldn't it be cool to kind of start a podcast?
Well, I think we mentioned it the first time we met each other, but I think and then we actually got more serious about it like as it went on. But I mean, I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and it was kind of a serendipitous thing that Arab ended up backing out because he's doing the IRL stuff, and good on him. I mean, but I feel it's an important thing to have in the scene, and I'm really glad. I mean, I just had someone last night. I don't know if you guys know who Sarah Nicole is.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was in her chat because I was running some zero build drafts, and she like came into Mace's chat and my chat, and like, so I like was in her chat after my stream, and I was like, hey, like, we haven't like officially met, but like I know who you are and all of that, and we were talking, and she was like, yeah, you're the podcast guy. I was like, wow, really, the podcast guy? Like, I've never had anyone know me from that. And she was like, yeah, I watched all of Fox's episode.
Jank,
I loved it.
Twitter.
Is it
who this is?
Sarah Nicole Ray? I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever. Well,
but anyway, so it like, I never would have thought that someone like her would have seen an episode and enjoyed it and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's when people ask me, oh, how can I get into PL? I'm like, dude, just build something. Whatever your craft is, just keep honing it. Make something that's unique, that's worth seeing, and people will see it. And that's, if anyone in the audience is wondering how to join PL or any org or how to be successful in this industry, it's that. Put you into whatever you're doing. Make it an expression of yourself. Make it something that's important to you. I mean, this is what I love to do. I love to yap. I love to ramble on for hours at a time with people. So this was a perfect. Podcast. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah, people, might as well. I mean, you're a good talker.
So, but that's, if you have a knack for management or graphic design or any of that, hone your craft, make it worth seeing, make it worth having, and then put yourself into it, and you will get as far as you can. I mean, that's, but anyway, I have everything that I need in my notes, Vishal.
I've covered everything. I think we've covered everything.
I mean, we've talked a lot about your future plans, but what are, like, let's say, their top 3 kind of things moving forward in the immediate future that we can be looking out for, from PL or from you or whatever?
I've been wanting to get into streaming again.
Okay. Nice.
So hopefully that I've been working on the Valorant video. for my channel, which I haven't uploaded on in over a year and 8 months.
Mm.
I just did as a hobby, as a lot of friend content.
Mm.
Right.
A lot of my videos are privated
Mm.
or
Fair enough.
unlisted. PL, Valorant,
Yeah.
really.
Yep.
Obviously
Saudi.
more content.
Yeah.
Saudi.
We got
Mhm.
Saudi and then
That is
Cooper
gonna
in
be
Copenhagen. Hopefully we can get another Copenhagen qual in the coming grands.
I believe Thoric is. So
Oh, Thoric is qual. Yeah,
Two.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Thoric
So we have
is qual,
two
Thoric
in
is qual.
Copenhagen. That's right. We just signed Thoric.
man, what the fuck?
Yeah, we just signed Thoric. Yeah, I know.
Hasn't even hit him.
The imposter syndrome is crazy.
Yeah.
I need help. Anyways, content, Valorant, Valorant guys. I won't leak the roster or anything,
Hmm.
but we'll be competing at a LAN
Oh wow.
July, I believe.
Wow.
Like
Nice.
that.
Like
We're
video
trying,
that.
try to get a video out for it. So that's
Yeah.
what we're looking out for. I won't.
Yeah.
Again, I won't leak the roster since it's already out that we have Valorant. I didn't even okay that, but I'm not gonna bump it. Impressions are impressions. Names are names.
Mhm.
People
Yep.
know. People know.
Yep.
Gets buzz.
So a traditional last question that we have on every episode. If you were to give one piece of advice, it could be Fortnite, it could be org related, it could be life related, to the audience, what would it be and why?
I could do a lot of things, honestly. The main thing that I've kind of said today is confine yourself to the present. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, it's good to learn from the past and be ready for the future, but it's not worth sulking on the past and worrying about the future.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be times where you kind of have to worry about the future. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
not knowing when your next meal is, but it's to also be confident in your abilities of okay, everything's going to work out. I mean, I have people around me, and if you don't, then there's always somebody. There's
Yeah.
always something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shit. Trying to.
No, that's
I
true.
said
I mean,
had a lot,
there
but I'm kind of blanking.
there is no like that's true though. I mean, there is always someone like, and
Yeah.
I know from personal like, if 99% of people that have ever interacted with me reached out to me and needed something, even some people that I hate, it would take a lot for me to really say no to somebody in that
Yeah.
moment of need or in whatever. Like there are
Another
a few
one.
people where I'd be like, why are you talking to me? But like for the most part, if you reach out to me, even if you think I'm a complete random, like I'm gonna be there for you to the best of my ability. And that there are people like that in your life, whether you see it or not. So don't
Yeah.
Mhm. Another one. Kind of goes with it. Just
Yeah.
look for something positive and everything, and that's easier said than done. I would know. The most negative person. I grew up in a very negative household
Right.
where I would even be ridiculed for being negative when guess who I got it from? The people I live with.
yeah, right.
But it will truly change if you're like, well, it happened. It happened. It's either you learn from it, you don't. But
Yeah.
if you accept that it happened,
Yeah.
easier it is to just be like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
let's fuck it, we ball.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No,
it's
it's
just
how do I make
honestly,
the most?
It's not even thinking positively. It's not thinking negatively.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
realism. I mean,
but-
I always advocate for realism. It's like
But
there is good
realism can
and
be negative to people. It depends on who
I
you
guess for
are.
me, it's like there are positive and negative things about everything, and to not acknowledge either is dangerous. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's where I get to is like, you know, if a situation happens, there are obvious negatives, but
Yeah.
to not acknowledge any positive that came out of it either. I mean, like I've
It's
had
even worse.
trauma. I've had I've had those things in my life, and yeah, obviously I can identify the negative. That's pretty easy, but I can also identify that I grew into the person I am now because of those things,
And that
and
war is
I'm
over.
extremely
Yeah.
grateful for that. I don't want to be anyone else. So if that's what it took, that's what it took, I guess. But I wouldn't want to be a different person. And I value all the ways that I am, whether that's a result of genetics or trauma or what have you. So that's where I get realistic. I'm like, there were bad things that came out of it. There were good things that came out of it. But the reality is I can't
happened.
change any of it. And so I have to live with it and make the most of what I have now. And and that helps with being in the present. You can't change any of the past. So all you can do is continue and make the best going forward of what you have, the cards that you're dealt with. And
Hmm.
That's just life.
Yeah, I mean, just again, don't go into a situation thinking negatively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just
It's not worth it.
or
No.
another thing is benefit of doubt. Someone cuts you off when you're driving. Okay, that was pretty bad. That was pretty dangerous what they did. However, maybe they really got to be somewhere. Maybe they
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, if they cause an accident, it's not like they meant to do it. So
yeah,
instead of
Thinking other
my
POVs.
my thing is like instead of ridiculing the person who caused an accident, I mean this only works this works in a few cases. Let's fix the problem first.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get the problem fixed as soon as we can and
Yeah.
then worry about that cuz you're doing more harm by turning your focus away from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
technical problem to the person that caused it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think my personal philosophy is pretty mixed and in ways hypocritical because my whole life again I've been pretty negative.
Mm.
You know, like
Right.
it's been bad, but that's just kind of what I've just the cards have been dealt.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean, that's all I can really say. All I really want to say on a recording. So,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, ladies
way
and
to end it.
gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another episode of the Ghost Comms podcast. This was Pipeline Jank. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment who you want to see down below. Comment anything you disagree with or agree with. We want to hear your thoughts. This should be a discussion, a collaborative effort with the scene. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Hey, everybody.